Hey everybody, good morning. Peace and blessings to you. Hope that this video meets you well. I'm recording on July 21st, 2025, and I'm still here. I am still here. I'm still safe. My family's still safe. We're still breathing. Mother Nature, Mother Earth still sounds as calm and beautiful and peaceful as ever where I am. And I'm at peace. I'm at peace. And I am favored. And I am loved. I am gratitude. And I'm still here. I'm still here. You know, 2025 has been a very, very interesting year. 2025 is what I believe to be the end of an era and not the beginning, even though it felt like we were about to go into unlock a new level and unlock a new layer of torture for us that was paying attention for so long, for us that have been aware and awake for so long. We could not believe that we were not at the end in November. We weren't at the end, but we were about to go through this shit again, but even worse this time. I couldn't believe that this was going to happen again, that we were actually going to go through this again. And a lot of us who have been paying attention the whole time have been awake for most of the time. Some of us have been awake much longer, and I have so much love and compassion for those people who have been awake for much longer than I have. I have been awakened because of the catalyst who caused me to wake up, who caused me to realize I needed to pay attention. And that is that guy, the worst absolute human being that I've ever witnessed in existence in my living years, in my years of being alive. The worst living person that I've ever watched do what they do, you know. And that guy was the catalyst for me. He was my awakening. He was the reason for my awakening. He was the reason for my paying attention to the world beyond myself, because I never used to watch the news. I never used to pay attention. I didn't pay attention to politics. I didn't pay attention to outer things. And yes, I was more at peace to a certain extent because I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. But being awake meant not only awakening to the world, but awakening to myself. And I have come out here on this July 21st, 2025 morning, and it's wet outside. It's wet. It's been raining. I came out here to tell you that, to say once again, I am in my butterfly era. I am genuinely in my butterfly era, and that I am becoming the best version of myself. I'm becoming the butterfly that I always wanted to be, the metaphorical butterfly I always wanted to be, the best version of myself. And if I didn't awaken to the world around me, if I didn't pay attention and I didn't engage outside of myself, I wouldn't have never awakened to myself. And honestly, I wanted this story, this chapter of our lives, I wanted it to end in November. I wanted the beginning of a new chapter to start in January when it was inauguration. You know, I wanted better leadership and different leadership. But I could tell you that if it had gone that way, it would have been more the same. We would have been, America would have continued on the hamster wheel. A lot of people would have remained asleep. And this is an awakening. This is awakening for everybody. This is an awakening for everybody. So one way or the next, this guy and these people and the force that they are a part of, that dark force, is an awakening for people, because it is attacking and crumbling every freaking thing, every freaking structure that has been built, crumbling every part of the system, destroying it from within, destroying it and destroying each other. And I have so much faith that at the end of this, we are going to be better than we think. And yes, the truth is that there will be people that would not survive this, but I have already come to the understanding and the belief that souls have chosen their destiny. Souls have chosen their destiny, and a soul and a human being is like not the same thing. Your soul is not the same thing as your human self. It's like your soul knows your destiny, your soul knows your purpose, your soul knows why it is here, and your soul spends its time trying to remind the human self why it's here, remind the human self what's the purpose. Now I know there's a lot of spiritual teachers that teach in ways of more knowledge and confidence and understanding, because they might have more experience, have done more research, might have listened more to more, have had more teachers themselves. I call my channel Letitia Learns Life because I am not in a period of fully understanding what I know. I am in a period of remembering who I am, remembering what I know. There's an inner knowing in there, and now that inner knowing has to be translated into a language that I understand, because there's an energetic knowing. And you sometimes you what causes you to remember or to unlock, like I would word it, unlock a new level of interest or fascination or curiosity or understanding or wisdom or enlightenment, is when you hear somebody say something that resonates with you, when you hear somebody say it in a way that you have never heard it before. So then you will like, that is it, that's the words I've been looking for, that's the way that I can communicate that from now on. You expand your language and your ability to communicate. But the purpose of my channel, Letitia Learns Life, is to give you a peek into the learning and discovery of me, of from my perspective, and why I think that my perspective is a kind of interesting perspective to share, is because it is an INFJ perspective, an empath perspective, a light worker's perspective. I am a very rare personality, and the way how I see life is very, very different, and it's always been that way. Even on social media, where there's all kinds of people here, I still feel weird and out of place. I still feel different. I still feel, you know, different. Like, I connect to people and account and channels and people because of similarities, things that resonate, but at the same time I feel like a one of a kind unique person, and I every day have to be brave enough to put my ideas that are uniquely mine into the world, uniquely mine into the world. And one of the things that I've always hated is the feeling of rejection, so I have to deal with that. I have to deal with feeling unseen, because I know that I'm competing with a lot of people for attention, and I know that my packaging may not necessarily be the most engaging, the one that will capture your attention. You have to be willing. You have to be willing. You have to give me a shot. And so I have to learn throughout this process how to just keep going, keep speaking out, keep creating, in hopes that curious minds will give my channel a try, give my video a try, because I have done it. I have clicked on videos of strangers just because of the title. Not, nothing flashy, no flashy thumbnails, nothing. And every once in a while I put a flashy thumbnail, and sometimes I don't. But maybe just because of the title. Sometimes the type of title is so simple too, but it sounds interesting. It sounds like something that I want to hear. So I give it a shot and I listen. I listen. So anyway, this is my first recordings for I skipped the weekend. I didn't record any today episodes over the weekend, but I did pay a little bit of attention and collect a few things. And that's when I say collect a few things, I mean I screenshot things, and just so I could remember headlines and things of interest, things that I you know would be interesting to share. I don't go into much detail and talk about the headlines in a big detailed manner, but I just talk about what is being talked about, with an awareness of what is being talked about. So One of the interesting things about this time is that the Epstein files, or the Epstein situation, is still being talked about. You know, there was a Wall Street Journal article that came out. I think it was either Friday or over the weekend. I can't remember, but Friday, I think, about a letter, and I think I mentioned that in my previous video that I did on Friday, about a letter that was supposedly written by DJT. That was a very, very strange letter, and I've had the letter read to me many times from other creators, and I've seen it. You know, I've seen the words in front of me, and I'm like, this is very weird. This is a weird transcript, a weird letter, very strange. And I believe that. And then there was the announcement of Trump, DJT suing Rupert Murdoch and Wall Street Journal, and doing a lot of suing, filing a lot of lawsuits. I can't remember what else, but I know for sure it's Rupert Murdoch he's suing, which is very, very interesting. So we have come to a new part of this story, a new chapter, where they are now at each other's throats. They're now attacking one another. He is now the enemy, or making enemies of all his former allies. He is pushing away everybody. He's pushing away his supporters, saying that they're weak and stupid and he doesn't want their vote if they're still talking about Epstein. He is no Rupert Murdoch is using the Epstein info, the Epstein stuff that he got, to bring down Trump, it seems. And obviously that is strategy, because these people they don't just do journalism. They don't just put stuff out. They put stuff out with an agenda. So what I'm gathering is he is done. He is done, Rupert Murdoch, this evil, evil man with this evil news media propaganda empire that he has built. A man in his 90s. I think I heard it said it was 94. He is done with Trump. There's this information I'm hearing that he had a meeting with JD Vance, and I don't know what that is about, but you know that they're up to something. You know that they're done with Trump. You know that they're done with this guy, and his days are numbered. They let out a bit of information about his health, and anybody with common sense, anybody that's paying attention, would know that what they have shared is the tip of the iceberg, and there's definitely more. There's definitely more, because they're not going to let that information out without a reason. So the evidence of him deteriorating is becoming more obvious. It is showing, it is showing physically now. So they made the announcement about his chronic venous insufficiency, which is something to do with blood flow, like I mentioned. His chronic venous insufficiency. They made an announcement about that and said it's treatable, but I believe that is what they're sharing, and that is the tip of the iceberg. That is the parts that they are willing to share. And drip by drip by drip by drip by drip, you will see this empire fall, and this season, this chapter start to come to an end. And I don't think it is beneficial for us to be afraid. Definitely don't be afraid of JD Vance and the tech bros and all these things, because I believe that DJT's sole purpose was to destroy everything DJT touches dies. Everything. A reputation, a marriage, character. He destroys. He's a destroyer. That was his purpose. His purpose was to drain the swamp as he promised. And a lot of people thought that the swamp he was going to drain was going to be the Democrats, which but the swamp he was going to drain was the corruption, and he was going to reveal it to us, the corruption and the broken system and the unfair system, the system that was designed not to help people. It was designed to keep people from being their best selves, from thriving, from becoming, from being taken care of. It was designed for the wealthy. So he is here to drain the swamp, and he is draining the swamp. He is revealing it all to us. He is revealing the corruption of the corporations, the greed of the corporations. He's revealing these TV networks that are capitulating to him and paying him off, to, paying his bribes with these lawsuits by settling cases that they would have won if they had just fought back, fought on behalf of the people. And that is why, for me, CBS, I wash my hands of CBS and Paramount. And even though I used to like some of these shows on Paramount and CBS, I will not. I refuse. I like the shows. I like the neighborhood and the stupid comedy. What is that? Ghosts or something. I liked. I watched Elsbeth. I don't think it was that fantastic, but I watched Elsbeth, and there were a few things that a few shows that I had liked, but nothing worth supporting a network that threw people under the bus. You know, so I wash my hands of CBS because they are capitulating to that regime. And I wanted to completely wash my hands at ABC News as well, because they were the first, actually. They were the first in line to do it. They were the first capitulators. They were the first to obey in advance. They were the first to settle the bribe, the case. They started the whole freaking thing with that. But when DJT sued Mark Stephanopoulos, or how do you pronounce his name, Stephanopoulos, and the network, and they settled. They could have won, and they settled. They threw the people out of the bus immediately. So a lot is being revealed to us. And yet still, despite how I feel about ABC News, the reason I still use them, I screenshot a lot of their articles because I see it on my YouTube feed. Because I engage a little bit with the ABC News, I keep getting it, and the articles and the articles that they're sharing on the YouTube is so fascinating and interesting that I can't help myself, but I have to screenshot it. On there, they're talking about dinosaur bones, and they talk about space news, and it's just very planetary. It's very in alignment with the shift, so I can't help myself. So I screenshot a lot of ABC News stuff. So one of the things I bought this book outside because I wanted to share. I started to read this book. I bought this book over a month ago, I think, and I finally got to start to read it over the weekend. High Vibrational Wellness. I'm going to share some reading out of this book in this video with you today. Is intuitive healing therapies to nourish your body temple. And I tell you, I've been working on becoming the best version of myself, and I really do feel like the best version of myself. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Working on that eating and eating right and being a responsible snacker. This weekend at our supermarket, our local supermarket, it had Ben and Jerry's that was on sale. Ben and Jerry's is usually cost $5 or something for that little small tub of ice cream. I've never had Ben and Jerry's ever in my life, and I wanted to buy because it was like half price. So I wanted to buy two because I could get two for $5 instead of one. So they're small little teeny tubs of ice cream, and when I got home and I saw the calorie count, 400 calories for two-thirds serving. 400 calories for two-thirds serving. I had to have this like small portion of Ben and Jerry's, but it was delicious. I could have finished it in like 5 or 6 spoonfuls, but it was delicious. It was my first time having Ben and Jerry's because I got kids, I got a big family. I could never afford that ice cream. I could never afford to just to pay $5 for a little small tub of ice cream. So I grabbed the opportunity to taste Ben and Jerry's, and the one that I had, I got two flavors. Toffee coffee, something, one called toffee coffee something, and toffee coffee caramel or something. I forgot. Toffee coffee something, and the other one is gimme s'more, a s'more flavor. I tell you, the flavor is so rich and delicious, but it could only have that in a small portion. because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. So I'm snacking responsibly and carefully and eating intentionally. And everything that I put in my body and how I eat and how I drink is very intentional. And I am becoming, like I said, that butterfly because I've never experienced a season like this before. And it couldn't have happened at a better time because as I was really afraid of this moment. I used to think, if it's going on, I don't know how I can make it. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't know how I can witness this. Well, now I know because I'm living through it. And it's July, and I'm still here. I'm living through it. And I'm not only living through it, but one day when I tell this story, I will say, even though the world was crumbling around me, I was experiencing the best time of my life. I'm the most hopeful and the best version of myself. Yeah, when we went to the supermarket to go grocery shopping, we had a small budget because our finances are really low right now because that's the thing that happens for us in summer, you know. But we went grocery shopping so that I could keep the momentum going in terms of eating healthy, eating more vegetables, and doing my bento boxes because that's how I eat my using making bento boxes. So that I could just grab one out of the fridge and instead of like, so I could have them there, my bento boxes with carrot sticks and veggies and fruits and that kind of stuff, good healthy stuff. So we got some stuff with a small budget, and the only thing that wasn't in alignment with what my weight loss goals was those Ben and Jerry. I hope that I don't come to regret it. I'm just gonna try to be very intentional about that because I really do enjoy my little small portion of that Ben and Jerry's ice cream. But we wore nice things to the supermarket. I wore a dress that I had bought, a butterfly dress, and purple shiny shoes. And I decided I want to wear those this weekend. I'm going to wear them to the supermarket. And my husband had a really nice shirt too that I got for him, And we took pictures. And I got to tell you, the pictures that we took is the best pictures that I've ever seen my husband and I take in our entire life. I love that picture so much. I want to frame it. I feel younger. I feel happier. I feel like a superstar. I feel like a butterfly, you know. I'm so freaking proud of those pictures. I love him. He looks handsome too. He looks so handsome, with a little gray in his beard, And we look like a mature couple that coming into the best season of our lives. And I tell you, I loved it. I love that picture. I loved it. I love who I'm becoming. I love this season. And I just wanted to share that with you, you know. I wanted to share that with you because I have faith. I have faith that at the end of the day, we are heading into something better and new. We are experiencing the end of the world, but not the end of this world, but not the end of the world. Just this one. Just the end of an era, the end of a period, you know. Where the generations of the past are going to be leaving us and passing on and retiring and sitting this out. you know some of them will enjoy their lives and grow old and with dignity and enjoy their lives, and some of them will die in their seats that they refuse to leave, so the young people gotta wait them out till they kick the bucket. Some of them will stubbornly just hold on to their seats and their positions until they freaking die. I mean, the smart ones is the ones that will get up from that seat, pass it on to a successor, and spend the rest of their days enjoying life, enjoying what's left of it, enjoying how much time they have left. If they have grandkids, spend it with the grandkids. Spend it with their adult children, or their friends, or the people in their lives, and with themselves. Enjoy their olden golden years. Some of them are so freaking stubborn, they refuse to leave their seat, so they die in it. They die in that seat, you know, and that is unfortunate for them. But I believe that we all have free will and our souls have choices, and we choose. And the reason I always constantly agree with people, the phrase "we are all co-creators of this world" is because our choices is what is creating this world, and we have to navigate in harmony with one another, in balance with one another, with each other, to create this wonderful world. We are creating it with planet Earth, with Gaia, with Mother Earth, you know, and our choices is what's doing it. There's multiple ways a story could go, and we just pick one. We just choose, and when we choose, that's the way the story goes. So I will see you in the Serenity Room when I go up there, and we will continue to talk. I will share some of the things that I have screenshot, and maybe read a little bit from this book if I have time. And we will talk in the Serenity. We will continue this conversation in the Serenity Room. Thank you for watching. All right, friends, I am in my Serenity Room. It is 7:38 a.m. We are still in today, and today, as I'm recording, is July 21st, 2025. And as I said in the earlier recording, I am still here. I am good, I am safe, I am happy, I'm living my best life. I mean, I have a long way to go to arrive to where I am heading, wherever that is, but I am living my best life. I am in my butterfly era. And I know that at this time, a time such as this, I know a lot of people are experiencing a lot of shit that they don't want to be experiencing. They're experiencing fear, they're experiencing shakeups, they're experiencing loss and grief and a lot of awful stuff right now. They're going through a heck of a season. And from what I believe, from my understanding, what I think is going on, and I come to agreement with other people that say, other spiritual people, beings that say this on the internet, that we are clearing karma. I listened to a psychic. She calls herself a psychic. I listened to a spiritual person on YouTube. Call her account is Gia Prism, and I listen to her insights almost every day when she posts, and she uses the phrase "clearing karma." We're clearing karma, and I will have to agree, because this movement has been tackling everything, and it has been doing that in the big picture, the grand scheme of things, the overall picture, in the collective, for the collective, and in our collective experience, and it has been doing it in the individual experience. It has been bringing up people's triggers, bringing up people's trauma, bringing up the things that have been holding us back, our fears, having us face our fears. And the reason that I believe that during this time I am not experiencing the world in this way, and it's going through the same experience that other people are going through, is because I feel like I already cleared my karma, and I already dealt with my triggers, and I already went through all the hard stuff. As I mentioned in the beginning part of this video when I recorded outside, I couldn't believe that I was gonna have to go through more of what I've been going through, and witness more of what I've been witnessing, and having to experience more of what I've experienced over the last 8 years, only to realize that my fears were unwarranted, because even though some people are going through that and people are experiencing and waking up, I've already experienced and waking up. It's like I've already taken this class, and I don't have to do a redo. I don't have to take it over with you guys. I don't have to take it over with whoever is taking it right now. I have experienced my awakening. I've experienced my hardship. I have faced my fears. I've faced my traumas. And I believe that I had the opportunity to do so early, so that when a time such as this came, I was already prepared. My lamp is already lit, and I have my extra oil. I was talking to my mom about that story of the virgins. I think that's what she said, 10 virgins or something. But the virgins that were waiting with their lanterns or whatever, their lamps, their oil lamps, and some of them had extra oil, and some of them didn't. And while they were waiting, the ones that didn't have the extra oil ran out of oil, and they had to go and get oil because the ones that had the extra oil didn't have enough, couldn't share their oil because that was for them, you know. And that's the experience that some people did not clear their karma and did not go through the things that they needed to go through in preparation for this moment. So they have to go through it now, because we all had to take this class. We all had to experience this experience in order for us to move into the new world, the new earth, the golden age, the new earth, the new world, the new world frequency. The reason that I kind of like say in different ways is because a lot of the times we're all talking about the same thing, but we're talking about it in different ways. So I just like to say the same thing over in different ways so that I could connect to as many people as possible who might understand it from a different perspective. So I have a lot of things that I want to talk about while I'm here. The purpose of this series, this summer series, which I think that I'm only going to be doing it in this capacity for July. The summer series is observations, awareness. Observations and awareness. I am going to observe what is happening. I am going to make myself aware of what is happening, but I'm going to let it play out how it's going to play out. However it's going to play out, I'm going to let it play out, because it is not my experience it's not my journey to walk through that experience. I am not in it. I'm just a witness to it. My own personal journey, as I've shared in numerous videos in this series, Quest 1, Quest 2, Quest 3, my 2025 quests, Quest 1 being inner peace and inner harmony and connection with spirit, connection with my soul, making sure that my intuition and discernment is, strong, and making sure that I'm connected to myself, that I am connected with myself, right? My inner being, my higher self. Quest 2, weight loss. So I've been like reading and learning, and I talked to you about this book that I finally started to read, High Vibrational Wellness. I started I unlocked a new level of my weight loss journey, a new thing that I've introduced into my routine, which is drinking chia seeds with apple cider vinegar morning and night. And I've at the beginning of June I started to do bento boxes, which is like I would make bento boxes of fruits and vegetables and low calorie finger foods that I could just grab and eat, and eating more salads. I snack slowly. I have smaller portions of snack. I don't even snack as much as I used to, because the more that I saw that I was progressing in the direction, like I was actually moving, that the scale was actually going down, the more I saw movement and shift and change, the more motivated I became. The more motivated I became, the less desire I had for snacking. Like even sometimes when I want to snack, and it's not a strong desire, just this little desire of like, I want to treat myself, I want to snack, even when I want to snack, I don't, because there's this thing that's holding me back. Like I have a stronger desire to see my numbers change and go down than I do to have that snack. So finally, the mind is in alignment with the mission. The mind is in alignment with the mission. The determination is to the highest level it's ever been. More motivated than I've ever been. And I visualize that flat stomach. And I visualize how I want my body to look. And I visualize a number that I want to see on the scale. So, I've been sharing my numbers. And today, my number today is 211. I started this process at 222. So now I'm at 211. I did see 210 over the weekend, but it went up a little bit. It was at 211 this morning, because I feel like I didn't empty everything out of my stomach. I had bread yesterday because my husband baked bread, so I had bread, and I had a small portion of high calorie Ben & Jerry ice cream. I don't know if those are the reasons why I didn't get to see 210 this morning or not. I don't know, But today I'm going to try to work on being able to see 210 on my scale, and I'm looking forward to seeing it go down to 209. So I'm working towards that. Quest number three is YouTube growth, of my YouTube growth, seeing my subscriber count go up, seeing my watch hours go up, seeing movement in that, because my goal and my hope is to become a monetized channel. My goal for 2025 is to get to at least get to 100 subscribers. You know, anything above that would be wonderful. I am currently at 60. I was at 61 over the weekend, and the thing is that when I saw 61 that day, I was like a little nervous about it, because I was like, are these people sure they know what they're signing up for? You know, for some reason, I just felt like that 61 wasn't going to stick. And I guess I was right that 61 didn't stick. It went down to 60. You know, sometimes people just like subscribe maybe because of a story or whatever, and they have no idea what they're subscribing to. I always wonder I have a few questions that I wonder. When, like, I posted a cute, adorable video of my little son popping bubbles and playing when he was younger, like many years ago. It's an old video, and it had 2 thumbs down. And I was wondering to myself, what kind of person would thumbs down this? And then I had a curiosity. I just wondered, like, is it because of did they actually read my description and they didn't like what I said? Or is it my son? Is it a kid at play? Like, why would you do this for that, And I wonder about people. and why people have to be that way, And another question I often ask when people unsubscribe is like, what is it? Why did they unsubscribe? Was it something I said? I know that I am uniquely me and strange in many ways to people who are not on that level and not in that frequency. I know that I'm strange, and I know a lot of people sometimes don't want to deal with strange or don't want strange in front of them. I know that the light in a light worker bothers people. So it is what it is, but I have questions, like I wonder why. So over the weekend, actually not over the weekend, Sunday, yesterday, I started to watch it. I only got a little piece left that I didn't get to finish it, but I started to watch this video from an account called Mythosis, and it is entitled Carl Jung, Empaths aren't born to heal, they're born to awaken the collective. Jung original. So it seemed as though it was words by Carl Jung, spoken by Carl Jung. They were very profound. They were feel very modern and timely. It makes me question if that's really him speaking. I do not. Again, I am still in the process of learning. So I barely know who Carl Jung is, to be honest. It's amazing to me that even though I know so much, how little I know. And I'm so excited about developing this channel and hoping to have it for a long time, where me and whoever sticks with me learns with me, and we learn together. We connect to spirituality and learning how to navigate this world and how to become the greatest version of ourselves, especially empaths, especially light workers, especially INFJs, those who are like me, but those who are not like me, but are similar to me, and those who are just interested and curious and are open to learning with me and being inspired by the things that I share. So anyway, that was a very, very profound, enlightening video that I listened to yesterday. Carl Jung, Empaths aren't born to heal, they're born to awaken the collective shadow. Very, very, very profound video. That's why I said, like, for me, I had a great weekend. I continue to unlock new levels of understanding and growth and development and listening and mindset shifts and just navigating this world at this time could be exciting or it could be scary. And I am so happy that for me, it is exciting. For some, it is scary. And I feel as though they are the ones who have to empower themselves and step out of their fears. They have to let go of what is pulling away from them or what is being taken away from them. Let it go and open their heart and their soul and their arms, and their be open to receiving what is for them. Because if whatever is for you can't be taken away from you, so if it's being taken away from you, and you and no matter how hard you try to grip on it, it's still slipping away, let it go, because it's not for you anymore. It doesn't serve you anymore. And there is something better if you open your heart and step out of fear and step into love and light and consciousness and pursuing being your best self. So take it one step at a time, step towards the light, because the message that I'm receiving is there is no one coming to save us. I just heard that. There's no one coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. There's no one coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to let light in, let love in. If we walk in the light and we walk in love, then we will attract things in the light, and we will attract things that are of love. If we walk in the darkness and we walk in our fears, we will attract our fears. We will attract the things that scare us. The darkness will pounce, because you are one of the weak ones. You are one of the weak ones who are, at least you are vulnerable to the attacks, because you are moving in your fears instead of your light and your faith and your love. And now I understand what the Bible was always trying to tell people, you know, to be prepared for. And we weren't prepared because we kind of turned it into this rigid book of rules, and we turned it into a judgment or a prison of other, or a prison for people, you know, a book of rules, a system to be a part of. So we weren't connected to our inner soul, our God in us, our God, us, God in us, we are God. And I know that might trigger and annoy some people, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to, another thing, now I'm going to shift into the political part of this video. I can tell you one of the funniest things that I saw this weekend was the Trump Not Like Us video from Lincoln Project, you know, inspired by the They're Not Like Us, They're Not Like Us, They're Not Like Us, you know, Kendrick Lamar music video. I love Kendrick Lamar. I got hooked on Kendrick Lamar last summer. I didn't know who he was before. I was just curious about the They're Not Like Us song, and I wanted to know who sang it. I got to see the video. I watched the video a million times, and then I watched those reaction videos, and I watched videos where people was breaking it down, because I was like, this man is an artist. This man is masterful at his craft. His words, his videos, he reminded me of myself. I saw myself in Kendrick Lamar, and not as being a rapper or being talented in that way, but the intention. Everything was intentional. The clothes, the video, and every part of it was intentional. The lyrics was intentional. What the dances were intentional. The visuals were, every freaking thing in it was intentional, and it reminded me of myself, because I'm like that. And I'm so craving and desiring the kind of people who will see the intention behind everything that I do. My art, my craft, my words, how I put things across. Everything for me is intentional. And I'm continuing to develop my craft, which is to be a creator, to be present, to speak my truth, to let the spiritual downloads and uploads, you know, the things that come from my heart, to come up with, you know, to for me to speak into the world, and the things that come from my knowing and my third eye, you know. I'm developing my craft of communication and creation. And I love this. I love this season for me. I love this world and the possibilities of it. I'm just excited. So anyway, let's get back to the point. The Lincoln Project has put out a music video with puppets. It's so fun. Look it up if you're interested. Trump Not Like Us, Trump Not Like Us, Trump Not Like Us. And it will be more fun, and it will be more fun to watch if you know the Kendrick Lamar They're Not Like Us music video, and if you know the song, it'll be even more fun. But it was very fun to watch. Another very interesting thing that happened, I believe it happened on Friday or something, or what, over the weekend. The other thing that was talked about was this CEO astronomer His name is Andy Byron, CEO of tech company Astronomer, resigned after a video of him embracing a woman identified as Kristen Cabot, Astronomer's head of HR at Coldplay concert, went viral. The video captured by the concert's kiss cam showed the pair ducking away from the camera after embracing, leading to widespread speculation and online commentary. Astronomers board accepted Byron's resignation, and a search for a new CEO has begun. So I feel really, I think that is sad for well, I don't know how to word it. But so that's a thing that happened. That's a thing that happened. Somebody got caught cheating at a Coldplay concert in a kiss cam camera. That's a thing that happened. So now I'm going to turn my video over to my laptop, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I screenshot. I didn't screenshot a lot, but let's just talk about a few things. I'm just going to mention them. It'll be so much easier for me to do it that way than for me to try to, yeah, it'll be easier for me to do it that way. So let's turn it over to my laptop. All right, so I'm still on this page, and this is the video there. I am on AI, no, this is the AI overview here. And what I typed in to find that is the CEO Astronomer Coldplay concert. That's what I typed in. Here's a more detailed breakdown. The incident. At a Coldplay concert, the kiss cam focused on Byron and Cabot, who initially embraced. Then they quickly separated and hid from the camera, sparking online speculation and jokes. Online reaction. The video quickly gained traction, with many questioning the relationship between Byron and Cabot. News outlets reported that the video became a source of internet memes and commentary. Astronomer's response. Astronomer initially launched an investigation into the incident. They stated that their leaders are expected to uphold a high standard of conduct. Byron's resignation. Following the investigation, Byron tendered his resignation, which the board accepted. Ongoing. Astronomer is now in search for a new CEO. Well, that is unfortunate for him. What are the odds, right? What are the odds? But, you know, it is what it is. Now he has to deal with the consequences of getting caught in this manner and fix it. I don't know, make it better. Do what he has to do to make it better, to make it right. So I mentioned the rescission package in a previous video, and I wanted to share what the rescission package is, because I tried to speak it from memory. I realized in my previous video I used a number that was so wrong, you know, because a lot of times speaking from memory is not a safe thing to do, you know. But I was just like, yeah. A rescission package. Rescission package. Unwinding agreements or budgets. A rescission package, depending on the context, can refer to 1. Government spending cuts. A rescission package can refer to a proposal or bill in the U.S. federal government to reduce or cancel previously appropriated funds. For example, in July 2025, a rescission package was approved that cut roughly $1.1 billion from PBS and NPR funding, affecting public media organizations, according to the news. These cuts can impact various sections such as foreign aid programs and government efficiency initiatives. The Impoundment Control Act of 1974 gives the president limited authority to propose canceling funds, but Congress must approve the request. If Congress doesn't act within 45 days, the funds must be released as originally designated. Rescission is not a line item veto. It required congressional approval, according to the Bipartisan Policy Center. So that's number 2, cancellation of contracts, mutual or unilaterally. Rescission in a contractual sense to the act of canceling or undoing a contract, returning all parties to their positions as if the agreement never existed. This can occur when there's a valid legal reason. fraud or misrepresentation. If false information was provided that influenced the agreement. Mistake. If both parties made a mistake about a fundamental aspect of the contract. Duress or undue influence. If a party was forced or unfairly pressured into the agreement. Breach of contract. If one party fails to fulfill their obligations, particularly if it's material breach affecting the core, if it's a material breach affecting the core of the contract. Certain contracts may have statutory right of rescission within specific time frame, such as a 3-day right for refinancing mortgages, a 3-day right for refinancing mortgages, or certain real estate deals. Rescission can be either mutual, both parties agree to cancel the contract, unilateral, one party voids the contract based on valid legal grounds, according to the Narvios law firm. To formally rescind a contract, it's generally recommended to seek legal counsel to ensure valid grounds exist. Provide written notice to the other party explaining the reason for the rescission. Return any property or funds received under the contract. File a lawsuit if the party disputes the rescission. Consequences of contract rescission typically include restoration of the parties to their original positions, nullification of further obligations under the contract, potential damages if one party experienced harm due to the breach or misconduct. Important note, the specifics of rescission, including legal grounds and time limits, can vary depending on the type of contract and jurisdiction, state and federal laws involved. It's crucial to seek legal advice if you're considering rescinding a contract or if you're faced with a rescission claim. All right, so that's what rescission is, and that's what the rescission package, the recent one in July 2025, was all about. Was basically defunding, like cutting funds to public television, PBS, and NPR. And I had mentioned that in the previous video, but I did give a lot of the information incorrect, some of the information incorrectly. I used a number in that was not correct. I also realized that there was another sort of mistake if people had caught it, but thankfully for me, not a lot of people are watching these videos right now because my audience is very, very small, and there are other things that people are occupied with. But I also had talked about the second quarter as though we were in it, whereas we are in the third quarter of the year actually, and not the second quarter. So that is a correction in case you had caught that is kind of what I was doing. So the rescission, so the rescission package, that's what that's about. Okay, so finally, let me just talk about some of the things I screenshot, which wasn't much, but here for ABC News, large dinosaur mating dance arena discovered in Colorado. This is why I screenshot a lot of ABC News stuff, even though I'm kind of like a little pissed at ABC News, for being the first, as I mentioned earlier on in this video, being the first to bend the knee to the regime. But they have such interesting articles outlined on I get these things from YouTube mostly because I don't really do other things right now. I don't do Blue Sky I don't do much other social media platforms at the moment. I just mainly spend time on YouTube, mainly to create and post, and I create more than I consume. But I see these ABC News things, and they're always very fascinating because it's just a fascinating time to pay attention to what is going on with the planet and what is being revealed and discovered and what is coming into our attention. So researchers have discovered evidence of one of the largest dinosaur mating dance arenas, in quotations, in present-day Colorado. Previous studies have identified a couple of dinosaur lake or areas where male dinosaurs likely congregated to perform courtship displays for females, primarily for the purpose of finding a mate. A dinosaur ridge 20 miles west of Denver. So my question is, how on earth did they know that? But anyway, that's just something that I find interesting, fascinating. Another ABC News one. Astronomers have witnessed the birth of a solar system beyond our own. Wait. Astronomers witnessed dawn of new solar system for the first time. So astronomers have witnessed the birth of a solar system beyond our own for the first time. An international team of researchers has been able to pinpoint the exact moments when the planets began to form around a star by using data captured ALMA by the ALMA telescope in Chile and James Webb Space Telescope, according to a study published in Nature on Wednesday. Axios, he's a madman, quotations. Trump's team frets about Netanyahu after Syria strikes. Israeli forces, this is BBC News, kill 67 Palestinians seeking aid in northern Gaza, Hamas-run ministry says. All right, so I had also screenshot one. It's not uploaded into my Google Photos as yet, but a title of a BBC article that was entitled "The Rise of the Far Right Japanese First" in quotation marks party, and I'm like, Jesus, peace. What is with this world? And everybody's like, everybody is American first, Japanese first. Like, what? This far right energy, this energy of isolation and every man for the self thing. My gosh, I can't wait to be here. I was so over it. So over it. And I missed this one. 100 undiscovered galaxies could be orbiting the Milky Way, new research shows. There could be many more satellite galaxies orbiting the Milky Way than previously thought or observed, according to astronomers. As many as 100 undiscovered galaxies that are too faint to be seen could be surrounding the galaxies that houses Earth and the solar system, new research has found. And it's just that everything that I am seeing shows me that what people have been saying about us experiencing a shift and us coming in, our frequency of the planet rising, and us coming into a period where we are going to discover and invent and create and align and be more in harmony with the planet and with Earth and with the universe and be more connected. And a lot of us will ascend, and many of us will choose not to. And that is unfortunate. That many people will want to stay in low vibrational energy, but a lot of us will ascend into enlightenment and shift and change and something better. I also didn't see this. I missed this one. Somebody stole a fire engine and then just went on a rampage. Okay. Suspected fire engine thief damages more than a dozen vehicles in rampage. Authorities are searching for the suspect who allegedly stole a 35,000-pound fire engine in Everett, Washington, Friday night and went on a rampage, crashing into more than a dozen parked vehicles before abandoning the emergency rig and fleeing on foot. Losing a fire engine in such a reckless manner not only jeopardizes the safety of our first responders, but it also puts our community at risk, Everett Police Chief John DeRose, or DeRossi, or however you pronounce that, said in a statement. So yeah, interesting and strange things are happening, and I just want to show you this last thing, and then I'm going to close off this video. Thank you for making it this long. Check this out. This is an accidental heart that my husband made when he was putting gravy on the mashed potato. He created a heart, and I had to take a picture because you could see the heart clearly. And this was my daughter's mashed potato. So there you go. Sending you some love and positivity, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you for making it this long. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to comment and all that stuff. Help me with the algorithm. Thank you for watching.